What's good, everybody? Welcome to Bowler's Paradise. My name is Ben. I'm a USB-C Silver Certified coach, and today we're taking a look at the all-new Theorem Pearl from Track. If you're new to the channel or you're not already a subscriber, now's a great time to get on board. Here at Bowler's Paradise, it's our mission to help bowlers of all skill levels improve their game, and subscribing is the best way to help support that mission. So while you're down there, be sure you hit that notification bell too, so you don't miss out on our next review. Following up on the highly successful release of the original Theorem, Track brings us a beautiful blue sequel, the Theorem Pearl. Just like its predecessor, this one features the MC² asymmetric core headlined by its mid-tier 046 differential. Then on the outside is the blue prime response Pearl cover, which is a direct adaptation from what was used on the original, finished to 1500 compound out of the box. So with that, I decided to go with a 5 by 3.5 by 4.5 2LS layout. The biggest item of note here is the 3.5 inch PAP to mass bias measurement, as it's meant to help stabilize the reaction of this piece in the middle part of the lane and keep this Theorem Pearl from being unpredictable if it sees early friction. And on the lanes, the Theorem Pearl was surprisingly strong, but I would argue that in this case, it's a good thing. The combination of core and cover and layout seems to ensure that this ball picks up a heavy roll no matter where you are on the lane. So if it catches friction early, there's a pretty slim chance that you're going to get to the pocket in an effective way. But even though that reality doesn't set this one up to have a great look on the outside part of the lane, my favorite part about throwing the Theorem Pearl was its performance from the inside part of the lane. This shape is somewhere in between the radical hitter Pearl and the hammer effect, which is a dream for league bowlers who need to control the cliff. What's more, I think this shape is likely to crush sport conditions, especially late in tournament blocks. But every benefit has its trade-off, and the biggest one with the Theorem Pearl is that heavy roll increases your risk-reward ratio. If you're lined up with it, it'll punish pins without question. But if you're off with a shape like this, there's a pretty good chance you have splits in your future. Having a heavy roll through the pins can be great in skilled hands, but if you're under a 210 league average, the likelihood of you seeing great results with this one are probably limited. However, I'm sure there's still a number of you out there considering adding this one to your arsenal, and if you do, I'd recommend pairing it with a Track Criterion as well as a Radical No Doubt. The Criterion is a pretty basic complement as it's an asymmetric solid, but with it being polished, it's much better towards the outside part of the lane. Then the No Doubt is just about the exact opposite of this Theorem Pearl, as it doesn't lose its axis rotation to catch that heavy roll by design. So jumping to our Crossbrand comparisons, I first took a look at the Harsh Reality Pearl from 900 Global, and here I see a piece that is a bit cleaner than the Theorem Pearl, but still has the same amount of overall hook potential. The Harsh Reality's hook phase is much shorter, which is great for bowlers who are okay with that really risky shape and like to see that violent reaction down lane. Then I took a look at the hammer effect, and here you can see how it's, much like the Harsh Reality Pearl, makes a sharper move off the spot than the Theorem Pearl. I'd attribute most of this to the cohesion additive in the cover formula, as that seems to make everything a bit cleaner through the fronts than you'd expect, so balanced bowlers are more likely to match up with this one from hammer. But with that, here's my recommendations on the types of bowlers that I think would match up well with the Theorem Pearl from Track. The first is rev-dominant bowlers. Even though the strength of this piece will force these players into the heart of the lane pretty early, the combination of control and hitting power seems to be dialed in for these players. It's more responsive than the hitter Pearl, but more controlled than the effect, and that makes it a rev-dominant player's ideal choice to cover a lot of boards. The second recommendation is for female bowlers. The original Theorem was great for female bowlers, with the only catch being that it would tend to read the lane too early as friction developed. With this one having the Pearl cover, these bowlers should be able to stay in their A-game zone longer, as it gets through friction a bit better and still gets through the pins very well. The new Theorem Pearl from Track might not have enough to make it into the top 5 blue bowling balls of all time, but in the right hands, could be the one that takes your next honor score from theory to reality. And you can pick this up today and much more at bowlersparadise.com. Be sure to use the discount code YouTube at checkout for free shipping. Thank you to my friend Ryan Shafransky for the drilling of this piece, and to Dale's Weston Lanes for letting us film this video. If you haven't yet, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more ball and product reviews. But as always, remember you guys, having the right ball in your hands Now that's a bowler's paradise. Peace.